Hey guys, it's RivaThames, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about something that I think you guys could really benefit from. And that's going to be how to counter Captain Phasma's droid. You know, it can, as soon as you walk into the radius of the droid, you'll get stunned. And you're pretty much vulnerable, you can't do much to defend yourself. So it can be really hard to take down Captain Phasma because it's kind of she's always next to that droid. So when you look at this video, you're probably thinking use a blaster or throw over a detonator or something like that. But I want to talk about what if you're playing as a lightsaber hero. How can you take on Captain Phasma next to a droid when you have a lightsaber and you don't really have any ranged attacks to take her out? So we're going to be talking about Rey, Luke and Yoda. There's a few ways you can go about this. I'll start off with Yoda. So we're going to take everything that we've learned about Yoda and we're going to apply it to this. And how can you use Yoda to get out of this situation? One thing I'm going to talk about for all three of these heroes is that if you block and walk into Phasma's droid radius, you won't actually get stunned. So you can continuously walk as long as you're blocking. And the upside of playing as Yoda in that situation is that you can absorb the blaster fire from Phasma and from the droid, because the droid will fire at you as well, it will target you. So you can absorb everything from that droid and Phasma. Now when you're in that situation and you've got your unleash, you're going to want to use it. So as soon as you let go of your block and you use the unleash, you're going to get stunned. Now, what do we know from Yoda about stuns? That you can break out of it when you use presence. So, the whole idea for using Yoda is that you can absorb the blaster fire, you can walk into the radius, you can push Phasma away, but to save yourself getting any damage or getting stunned, you can instantly escape from it by using your presence ability, then chase after Phasma. And if you catch her in a stun lock, then she won't be able to return to her droid. Now something I want to talk about that's quite important is that when you want to use your force push, is kind of into a corner or into a wall. Kind of like when they stand up, you have the ability to kind of get a lot of damage in a close space. You don't just want to push them out into the open because it will be easy for them to just run back. So that can apply to Luke as well. Because when Yoda absorbs stuff, he will get increased range and damage. For Luke, you're going to want to use a increased knockback star card on Luke. Basically what this is going to do, the further you push away Phasma, the longer it's going to take for her to reach her droid. So this is leading into Luke, and same thing applies with Luke. You can block, walk into the radius, use your force push. You will get stunned as soon as you use your force push. But if you connect the force push, Phasma will be pushed so far away from her droid that you can chase after her and probably take her down before she returns to it. And again, it's really important to push into a relevant place because both Yoda and Luke have got that rush dash ability. So you can pull off about 2 or 3 of them in closed spaces. If you push Phasma out into the open, then it's very easy for her to dodge. Now onto Rey. Now Rey is just like the other ones, you can block and walk into the radius, but Rey has a really interesting feature which is insight. Now you guys may know that insight will give you unlimited stamina. So one thing you can do as Rey, if you're in a 2v1 against Phasma or something like that, is you can just stand there in her droid. And you can use insight to basically forever block and just stand there and distract Phasma in a way. So Phasma will be targeting you, you'll just be standing in the droid. The player as Phasma will be like, well, what's going on? Why are you not getting stunned? But that is something you can do as Rey. But another feature that I want to tell you guys about is you can cancel out Rey's dash ability with insight as well. So you can go ahead and dash into the droid radius, and once you get there, activate insight and you won't have taken any stun or damage. The way this works is you need to block and activate Insight at the same time. The animations kind of overlap, but the game will sense that you are pressing your block ability. So it will kind of do the same thing. So if you see your, the animation for Insight waving your hand, it will block on top of that animation. So you can kind of confuse your enemy. You can go ahead and dash into a villain, but then you can activate your Insight and you won't be stunned. So that's damage on top of defense. A great tip for Rey, and a good one to kind of confuse Phasma. But like I've said other times, is that if you find yourself in a 1v1 with Phasma as a lightsaber hero, or you're just generally trying to take her out in heroes versus villains or something, you want to walk into her radius. Get as close as you can into the radius and then push her away with your force powers. With Rey, you can try all sorts of things. Mind trick, you can pull off a mind trick but you will get stunned, so it's not always the best thing. Rey is kind of like a distraction. Yoda and Luke have the ability to push Phasma so far away from the droids, but to get there in the first place you need to block into the radius. So I hope these few tips have been helpful to you guys. I know it's not the most interesting of things, but it's just one of those things that you can take to the next game you play. You'll think, okay, I'll watch that video from Riva, I now know what to do when I go up against Phasma. So hope you guys enjoyed. General Grievous is so close now, releasing this Tuesday, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. So my Discord server is in the description, join that and have some chats with the community. Thank you to my amazing Patreons and supporters on YouTube, Dathomir Maulers and Scott. So thank you very much guys. It's been Riva, and I'll see you in the next video.